This one is about to piss off a lot of people. AMC was actually exceptionally bullish today, and that is because today was really a bad day, a rough day overall for your risk on sector of the stock market. I mean, no sectors really did well, but especially for stocks like AMC, today should have been a much redder day. And a lot of other stocks with quote unquote good businesses did worse than AMC today, and I think that does say a lot about where we currently are with AMC. So I want to give you guys kind of a rundown here in this video. Obviously what happened today, what's going to be happening tomorrow, the reason why the markets are selling off, go over the Ortex data, go over the FTDs, everything you really need to know right here and right now. But I also want to talk about my expectations over the next couple of weeks, pair this with the information that is said in this video, right? Take into consideration everything we're going to talk about, as well as the technicals, to kind of not really give you a price prediction necessarily, but where I think AMC could go, what kind of moves we could see over the next couple of weeks, guys. So we have a lot to talk about in a very short amount of time. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I don't know what you are waiting for, baby. Let's get into it. So AMC, the reason why I say AMC is pretty bullish overall today is because, like I said, not a lot of things did well today, and I think that is pretty straightforward, and it's all relative. Whereas, and what I mean by that, just so you guys understand what relative means, it means that if the S&P is down 1.5% like we are today, and you're seeing stocks like Square down about 4%, you're seeing other companies, right? Tesla down more than that, and AMC is doing better than those other companies. Relatively speaking, that's pretty damn bullish. Same thing could be said to the relative strength side. If the S&P was up 1.5%, AMC's up 5%, outperforming the names that I just mentioned, well, that would be exceptionally bullish. But even on red days where AMC outperforming other stocks, that is categorized as bullish. You could have been down 10% today. You could have been down 7% today, in line with some other stocks. Look at the EV sector, not doing so hot today. So I want everyone to be well aware that today was actually a pretty good day, all things considered. And what happened today is actually pretty crazy. And if you guys did not watch the last video, we'll just go over it here briefly. This is the extent of what happened today. It says, quote, "This is what did it." One paragraph, quote, "If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we would be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes," the central bank leader said in prepared remarks for appearances this week on Capitol Hill. Powell said the current trend shows that the Fed's inflation fighting job is not over. Now, some people are taking this as if the Fed knows the inflation report next week and the jobs data the end of this week on Friday is going to come in hot. People are already kind of making assumptions to those data points based off of what Fed Jerome Powell is saying right here. Now, he opened the door and basically said, we're going to do 50 basis points. And that's why yesterday there was only like a 28% probability of a 50 basis point rate hike. So it wasn't really expected. Now today, sitting at 68.3%. But what is really key to all of this is if you're going to go from pricing in 25 to 50 just based off of what Powell is saying, what's to say the markets might not price in 75 basis points if we get a really hot continuing labor market report on Friday, as well as Wednesday initial jobless claims, but more so that unemployment rate as well as the non-farm payrolls on Friday, and then you get a hot inflation report. We're probably going back to 75 basis point rate hikes, and then to 50, and then maybe to 20 by summer. That's going to put the Fed funds rate a lot higher than where the markets previously expected, in between 5 and 5.25%. Right now, the markets are currently expecting at the March 22nd meeting, we are going to be at that terminal rate. well, this means the terminal rate is going to be pushed out further, potentially 5.5 to 6%, and that puts more and more pressure on equities, on the economy, on the odds of a recession. When all things are boiled down, it makes recession odds higher. So that is what happened here today. Now, as far as AMC, let's run through the data here briefly just so everyone is on the same page. AMC is still on the threshold securities list. If you take a look at the FTDs, and that is because of these FTDs kind of making it known, right, that there is an FTD problem currently with AMC. If we go ahead and look at the FTD numbers, you got a lot of them, and I don't know why this is really not updating, and there we go. So for today, March 7th, 5.2 million FTDs that did come due. Tomorrow, 3.5 million FTDs, and on Thursday, 3.6 million FTDs, and on Friday, you got 1.5 million. And then the week of March 17th, you're going to see a lot of FTDs as well, starting off at 1.5 million, ending the week at 6.8 million. This is going to be a very large option expiration for the broad markets, but for AMC specifically, since you do have that March 14th vote, it's going to be very important. Now, I want to talk about that a little bit after we run through the economic data, or the data behind AMC. I shouldn't call it economic data, but the data behind AMC, because I think there's a reason why AMC is holding up so well today relative to the broad markets. Obviously, it could have been a little bit better. AMC could have been positive. It could have only been down 1% or less than that. Relatively speaking, pretty strong day overall. Now, the live short interest of free float sitting at 25%. The short interest sitting at 128.82 million shares that are currently sold short. Cost bar average 222.22%. That's a lot of twos. Cost bar max 293.32%. Cost bar minimum in negative territory. Now, some people ask how this can even happen. Nobody's just getting paid for taking out shares of AMC. It's not happening. It's more so a glitch in the system. Earlier today, we were getting numbers around 235%. Interactive Brokers has us at 102.5%. So these numbers look very, very high. Now that we got through the two most important pieces of information here, as far as the actual raw data behind AMC, if we take a look at AMC on a technical basis, it's looking very bullish. Even today, you are holding up in this bullish demand zone, right? Whatever you want to call it, you're holding up in this bullish channel. And this bullish channel, if it is correct and it holds true, should lead to a bounce very soon with AMC. And I think this is a big reason why AMC did hold up better today than some other names in the market, some other well-known names. Now, why do I think ultimately AMC is holding up better than a lot of other stocks, specifically heading into this very important vote on March 14th? Well, it is because I think the shorts are getting nervous here. Shorts are looking at this like, if this vote does not go through, we're looking at a short squeeze. I've called this out in one of the other videos and said this is kind of like playing a pharmaceutical company, right? If you buy into it, a lot of the times that FDA approval comes and the stock drops. Or even if it rallies, you bought the stock for that reason. If the stock does drop and you bought in, you lose money. You usually sell out of your position, just depending on how bad that information is, right? Well, the whole reason why a lot of these shorts are short is coming down to this vote. So I think you are getting a little bit more confidence here today in the fact that you are holding up so well in spite of this vote that is just around the corner, like literally a week away, because there is a greater probability that this will actually not happen. Now, at the same time, even if this does happen, what's your worst case scenario if you are long on AMC? Well, we know by March 14th, nothing's going to happen. Even if we get a yes on this vote, we know at least until April 27th, a whole month and 2 weeks later, we're not going to know if this is actually going to happen, if there is going to be court proceedings on this. Now, odds are the judge does weigh on this case and they say, hey, we're not going to go forward with any of this. Right now, we need to hear out, you know, what the pension funds are saying, what other people are saying, and the vote's not going to happen for a while. So if you are short in AMC, you're not expecting a home run coming March 14th right now, like you were 2 to 3 weeks ago. So I think that does put a lot of pressure on those shorts. And even though you are seeing shorts remaining in those positions that they have been in for this arbitrage trade, I think you are going to see a decent amount of hedging heading into this event on March 14th, and will hold us up better than not. Now, with that hedging being in place, ultimately, if this vote comes in as a no, a lot of people are going to be on the wrong side of this trade. Now, if you take a look at the RSI here on a more technical basis, that is sitting right at the neutral level of 50, and you are getting a 0.32% bounce here in after hours. Could lead to a pretty good day tomorrow. Keep in mind, Fed Jerome Powell speaks again tomorrow, and you know he's going to be watching the markets. The probabilities for the 50 basis point rate hike, what we are seeing, it's going to be interesting to see if he presses this hawkish narrative even more, or if he does say try to calm the markets a little bit, or at least get the markets to stop pricing in such aggressive rate hikes. He's gonna have a chance to kind of set course coming tomorrow, and that's where you might actually get some bigger moves, because once he's done speaking, I mean, he just outlined his basically game plan for 2023. If this data continues to come in hot, they are going to go more aggressive. They're going to go for longer. There's going to be larger rate hikes. So I think depending on what we get tomorrow could also help move AMC. It looks like in the pre-market, the futures, whatever you want to call it, the after hours we're getting right now, slightly bullish response after a very rough day in regular trading, guys. So that is going to do it for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.